and I thought I'd take the opportunity to touch base. It's been a minute. We're doing a lot of work on various platforms and trying to keep it going. But anyway, what I wanted to ask you was this: did you know that the victims, the hostages, were freed by the captors, by the bandits, the terrorists? The terrorists freed the the uh, the people abducted in Oyo State. They weren't forcibly taken from the terrorists by the government. It was an arrangement. It was an arrangement. The military, police, and all of this stuff that they were saying was all a ploy. It was all a distraction. The people who were abducted were freed by the terrorists, not by the government. And it was after an arrangement was reached. This is what transpired according to what the Alhaji English has been saying, and there's no reason to doubt his thinking, because he's been advocating and exposing terrorism that has been happening on a daily basis, sometimes 4 or 5 times, giving us the news. And kudos to the English Alhaji, yes. Kudos to the English Alhaji for bringing this news to us. And many of us have been covering what's been going on. But like I said, this is a big concern. They were not the people. So what the story we've been told about the military going in and using force to free the people is a story. Exactly that, a story. It's not based on reality. And that is very, very, very important. It is very, very important for us to highlight and understand that, because the story we were told also in conjunction with the late military officer Isaac that was killed. It turns out he wasn't killed on the 15th or yesterday or the day before, when the so-called release of the hostages took place. No, nothing to do with that. He was killed on the 6th of June, and the abduction took place on the 15th of June. If what the English Alhaji is saying is true, then the government has more questions to answer. The government has more questions to answer as to why they are pretending to us that there was an altercation, that people were killed on the day of the release, that military men were killed. This was all a staged rescue. And the question we want to also ask the government is, why is it that the government is doing a staged rescue with bandits? There should be no discussion with these bandits. They should not be in our forests. So this latest expose exposes yet more. There's more questions and answers for the government. There's more questions that we the people have for the government. The answer they're providing is not sufficient at all. In fact, it covers it. It is asking. We're forced to ask more questions. When the government is telling us, "Oh, we freed the people, we freed the hostages," in actual fact, what happened? Now, from what the English Alhaji said, no money took exchange. The government didn't pay ransom. Yes, like he said, the government did not pay ransom, from what he's saying. But what they did was people go, and covertly something has happened. There must have been some kind of an exchange, not financial, but I suggest personnel have been let go of. Maybe even worse, the people who have been arrested and for this kidnapping, maybe there's an arrangement that they will be freed, that they will be forgiven and everything else. So the first thing we are calling on the Nigerian government to do is to stop pardoning these terrorists. They have to stop pardoning them. And that is quite a big concern, that they're pardoning the terrorists. Travis Williams, greetings and welcome. Hi, Travis Williams, welcome. So, this is really focused on Nigeria, and I hope people are following what we're saying. It's been a minute. I'm going to come back and probably do a second part of this broadcast because I need some help with an issue. There's a young lady that needs help, and I wanted to talk about that. But I will talk about that in the second part of this discussion. But the first part of it is to focus on what's going on right now. The hostages that were released, from what we understand, and everybody was euphoric and we were happy that they were released and everything else. It turns out that it was an arrangement, that the military did not have to go in guns blazing and, and take out anybody. No. It was a prearranged, predetermined plan by the government, between the government and the terrorists. Now, once the agreement was reached, again, I reiterate, no money changed hands. No money changed hands. No money. This is what, according to what the English Elijah, the picture of whom you see on my broadcast here. At the broadcast, I will share that broadcast later on this live broadcast as well. I'll share it when I do the second part of this broadcast because I'm on the move now. No money changed hands. But we want to know. Please, as you're watching, please don't forget to subscribe to Citizen AY on this platform. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to the power, help us reach more people, help us grow the platform. We really do appreciate you as you're joining us. So we want to know what kind of arrangement was reached with the government. What was the arrangement? If no money changed hands, we get that. No money changed hands. Let's accept that. There must have been some agreement that meant that when the military got there, in actual fact, they did not come in contact, from what we were told, they did not come in contact with the terrorists. They did not come in contact with the terrorists, as far as I understand it. What happened was the terrorists left, and the people were left there, and the military went in and simply took the people out because of the arrangement. This is a concern, because the story we've been told, the second part of it that is very, very dodgy, they were using the name of a young man, a military officer named Isaac. I think it's Isaac, something, Alemu or something, Isaac. Now, Isaac was killed by terrorists in an operation. It was him and a private that were killed on the 6th of June. 6th of June. Now keep that date in mind, 6th of June. The people that were abducted on the 15th of June. Is it 15th of June or May? No. It's coming up to 2 months now, up to almost 56 days, almost 2. Yeah, so 15th of May, sorry. I think it was 15th of. Anyway, listen, the thing is this. That guy wasn't killed. The most important thing to remember is this. On the day of the abduction, the guy had nothing, was not anywhere near there. The man that they said, the officer, army officer, he wasn't killed. Nothing to do with this abduction. Nothing whatsoever. Now, from what I understand, he was killed on the 6th of June. Now, I think we've had about 56 days. So that would have been that they were abducted on the 15th of May. Okay? So they were abducted 15th of May. This guy had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even in the vicinity. And when they went to free them, there was no altercation. Morning. There was no altercation whatsoever. None. There was no conflict. They simply walked in, according to what we're hearing, and it is like we have to believe. I mean, it's likely we need to question the government. As citizens, we have a right to question the government on whatever they're telling us. They have to tell us what's going on. Yes, Nigeria. Yes, we're talking about Nigeria. Dancing Lobster. We're talking about Nigeria. And there was an abduction where 56, I think about 55 people or 56 people were abducted, and they were let go of after 56 days. And on the 56th day, there was an agreement between the government, the military, and the terrorists, whereby they would say, okay, fine, we will let you can go and get the people, but you have to do something for us. And what they did is what we don't know. But one thing is for sure, from what we're hearing, no ransom was paid. There was no cash transaction. There wasn't any cash transaction, and that is a concern for us. What was the agreement reached? And why are they reaching an agreement with these people who are abducting our people on a daily basis? The government keeps pardoning these terrorists as they keep abducting our people. And this is not correct at all. This is totally unacceptable. It is quite a concern. I'm going to come and talk at length about this, in the broadcast, maybe tomorrow. When I'm in the studio, I'll see if I can do a second part of this, even though I have to do it this way because I was going to do it on the computer, but I got an issue with the keyboard at the minute. So, but now what I want to do is really bring this to our attention. We need to ask the government question. Thank you for the thumbs up. As you're watching, please subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, help us reach more people. So we wanted you to give us a thumbs up, like the broadcast, that is, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, and of course, share. Those 4 things. We'd love you to share our broadcast to reach more people. The question we're asking the government is, why have they lied to the people? Why have they lied to us and told us that they freed them? And why have they used the memory of a dead officer, an officer that died in another conflict, to pretend as though they lost a military life in the process? Why all this subterfuge? And we have every right to ask that question as citizens, because the government is not protecting us, as they should. They're failing in their duty. Section 14(2)(b) of the Nigerian Constitution states that it shall be the responsibility of government to provide safety and security for the citizens. That's their primary responsibility. In fact, the primary responsibility of government shall be to provide safety and security for the citizens. That's what it states in Section 14(2)(b) of the Nigerian Constitution. And clearly, that number one task, the government has consistently failed in providing that safety and security for the citizens. Our farmers are not safe going to the farm. Their crops are either destroyed and farmers killed, and nobody has been held accountable. The number of cases of farmers killed and the number of prosecutions of terrorists prosecuted, jailed, in the column of the prosecution of terrorists, there's almost no terrorist jailed for killing a farmer. The farmer is killed. 9 times out of 10, the terrorists are, or the bandits are, I use the right word because the bandits are freed on the call from Abuja. So that suggests that the call from Abuja, that means that there are people within the government, high up, that are controlling the actions of these bandits. So we are concerned as to why this is going on, and we're asking questions. And kudos to the English LRG for doing the investigative work and exposing this. And when we get more information like that, we will talk about it. But yeah, we have questions. Now, secondly, please, on this platform, I'm going to show you another broadcast. This morning, I'm probably going to speak to a young lady, and I'll bring her live on the broadcast. She's currently in Egypt, and she has been enslaved in Egypt. Now, I'm going to provide a GoFundMe, and I'd like you to help me to share it. So what's happened to her is that she was tricked into going into Egypt, believing that there was a job for her in Egypt. On getting to Egypt, they took her passport away, and she was made into a slave in Egypt. She'd been there for over 18 months. And when she found out, she had to work to pay off. She had to work, she had to work night and day as a slave to pay off the money that the family that she was paid for her to become their slave. Yes, she had to work to pay that money off. Now, when she walked and paid the money off, they now let her go. But she cannot move around freely or return to Nigeria currently because of two things. One, her passport is not in her possession. And two, she needs the flight money back. Now, for her to get her passport back, she has to go to pay a processing fee of some kind. Now, once she pays the processing fee, she will get her passport back, and then she will be able to, and then we would have to find another, something. Oh, we need about $400 for her, or £400, sorry, £400 for her to be able to now buy a ticket and process the documentation so that she'll be able to get on the flight back to Nigeria. But again, this is a cautionary tale for all of our people. Please, Arab countries, go into an Arab country, you put yourself at a very high risk of being enslaved as a black person. I want to ask a question of all African governments, and I know, well, in fact, all of them, but I think I would say it's not so much directed at the Alliance of Sahel States, because they are very, very proactive, working for the people. You can see that they put the interests of the people first. But I want to ask other governments and other African leaders, why have you been silent all this while, whilst the Arabs have been enslaving our people, and yet you pay money? You will pay our money to fly our people to go to Hajj there. By you doing that, you are condoning the actions of these Arabs. The Holy Land is enslaving their so-called Holy Land in Mecca. You go in Mecca, there are black people being enslaved right now. There is nothing holy about somebody being enslaved. There is nothing holy about being enslaved on your land. And this is what slavery is back in fashion. In the eyes of this sick, twisted minds of this bunch of bigots. I can't find another way to say it. So this lady, I'm going to come and show you the picture. I've got a GoFundMe for her, and I'd really like your help in whatever you can give. We just need 400 pounds for her, to help her. So I'll do the second broadcast, and I'll bring her on, and you will hear her speak live as well. I need your support in this area. We've done it once before with a young lady, and she's back in Ghana now. And I need to speak to her as well. It's just been very, very hectic. My focus still remains on what's going on in Nigeria, obviously. But this issue of enslavement of black people is something that is going on in 2026. I can't believe that I'm still talking about black people being tricked into slavery.